Welcome to the Sit Show. I'm Tiffany. Today we're going to talk about 3 brackets of age in training your puppy the first year it comes home with you. Today was a great day to do it because I have multiple ages and breeds of puppies up to just over a year old. And we're just gonna go through some of the capabilities and expectations of that puppy and use demo dogs in that age group so you can see and track where are you at in progression with training your puppy. So I'm gonna start with the youngest age. I have Prince here. He is just about 12 weeks old now. And then I have Nix over here, and she's around 12 weeks as well. 2 totally different breeds, and that is something to take into consideration because the breeds have a lot of different characteristics and behavior tendencies. This little girl is doing a great job. Again, she is a 3-month-old German Shepherd. Not going to behave the same way as my 3-month-old Golden Doodle, right? But the expectation of both of these puppies is they can hold a place command. They can be released off their place. We are working on socialization. We are working on maintaining self-control around other puppies and humans. So they're working with us as their owner. And then potty training, kenneling, all those sorts of things. So we're just gonna do a couple of things with these guys right now. And we're just gonna do place, some release with a recall, getting back up, and then just a little bit of loose leash walking. There is no heel being taught when our puppies are 3 months old. It's just a loose leash, all right? So we can start working our dogs. Prince, okay. Good boy, good boy. Good job. At this age, we are using treats. Princey, kennel. If he resists me, I've already taught him leash pressure, and so there was just a little pressure because he said, I don't want to. And our kids do the same thing, right? I don't want to do that. And sometimes you need to do something you don't do. So I was just directing him with leash pressure, get back up on your place. He knows what this is. He's just a little bit bored with it because he's been there for a bit. Good boy for you. When I pay him, I'm gonna pay him on the place. Good boy for you. Okay. Prince, sit. When he comes to me, I don't wanna treat him or pet him when he's jumping on me. I wanna treat him and pet him when he's sitting on the ground because we don't like our dogs jumping on us. It might not be as big of a deal with a little mini Golden Doodle that's gonna be 30 pounds. It's a big deal with a German Shepherd that's going to be 85 plus pounds, and this one is going to be that big. She is a big girl at 3 months old. Prince, kennel. Good boy. Whoopsies. Good boy for you. Good. They should also be able to pass by each other on a loose leash and not pull. And we can use treats to reward that behavior. So what I'm going to have Jen with Nix do is just walk on that side, and I'm going to be walking between this tunnel of the platforms. Again, it's not heel, and I don't want to restrain the dog or pull on the dog. Prince. Right there was a little mishap, but what I did do is I kept going. I didn't stop to just let him explore. You just continue going off in the other direction. And these are just simple things that we work on every day with our puppies with the leash manners. You have to go where I'm going. We're walking this way together. Prince. So off we go again. Whoopsies. At this young age, really, we're just starting to learn some self-control and not going crazy when we see other dogs or people. So even if a stranger walks through, I want you to think about his behavior there. He was really interested and excited with Amanda. And this is an error we make with our young puppies. If that behavior is constantly reinforced with the person stopping and petting the dog, we're reinforcing that excitement and it's gonna grow. So me having a neutral stranger just be able to work around the dogs and just walk by and nothing happens starts to teach him he doesn't need to get that excitable when he sees new people. So if the stranger goes by again from the other direction, that time I was more prepared. I had my treat ready, and right when she passed by, I just plopped a cookie in front of him, right? So if she passes by one more time, You can see he was better, but you can also see the difference in his behavior when I'm not prepared to do something to redirect him and be proactive in my training. So with our puppies, again, it's just simple things, but they change quickly. And when 16 weeks is over, you have a whole nother level of training that you're gonna be going into with that dog. Here we have Swayze. She is brand new to us. It's her second day working with us. So the training is not the same as Prince and Nix. Walter, it is his second day with us as well. He's a Cane Corso and he's 3 months old. There's a big size difference between these puppies already. He's gonna be a very large dog. He has been with an owner that has already started a bunch of training with him that I know pretty well. She's been doing a great job. His temperament, his demeanor, his training is different. This little girl right here is from a rescue. It's a newer client, and so we're kind of starting from scratch with her. It's the foundation. She is in puppy class right now, so you're gonna see a difference. When we're bringing her out, the daily routine here, every day, a few minutes at a time, I would say anywhere from 5 to 10 minutes, is working a combination of leash manners, place, recalls, using her name. Every time we go outside to the bathroom, every time we go anywhere, we're always working on leash manners. So there's no time limit on that, because if the leash is in my hand, I want to direct the puppy to the best of my ability. But if I were to do a short training session with her, which we did with this morning, she's just sitting here and she's looking at me. I'm going to tell her she's a good girl. Swayze, good girl. And I'm going to deliver that cookie. If I can do that 25 to 50 times a day, I will see results. And it's not that hard to do your dog's name 25 to 50 times a day to look at you. The other thing is with this loading up, which helps again with crating, loading onto grooming tables, vet tables, whatever, is when she is there, Swayze, I went this way because she was looking over there. This is every opportunity I have, every opportunity I have. It doesn't do me any good to sit here and do nothing when she's looking over there. I need to move away from her to bring her back to me. So I'm going to be working that within that time period. When I say use the dog's name 25 to 50 times a day or work place, think about working those things, but don't think that there has to be an order. It's whatever the puppy might need at the time. So I might be deciding at this time, I want to work on place with this puppy, but she's completely distracted over there. I'm going to go back to the name game. I'm going to keep it simple so that we're both having good success with each other. Swayze, good girl for you. Good. Okay. I'm going to release her off. Good girl. I'm going to, you can see she's a jumper. All I did was use my leash to put her into a sit, and that, Swayze, and that's what I'm going to pay her. So we worked on releasing her from the place with a little bit of a recall towards me, but then we had to address jumping. This is constant every day. It's multiple times a day for these short sessions. So I'm going to put her back on the place. Good girl. Good girl for you. Good. Good. So then a recall, when she's looking at me is when I'm going to call her, not when she's looking away. Swayze, come. Sit. Good girl for you. Swayze, kennel. Here. Sit. Good girl for you. That little repetition right there, I want to try to get that in 10 to 15 times, multiple times a day. If you can only do it 3 times a day, that's fine. If you can do it 5, 6, 7, 8 times a day, that's awesome. So I'm going to have Walter do just a quick little rep. We're going to do the same thing that you saw previously, where it's some kennel, some releasing, some walking by. You're going to see these dogs are at a different level than the previous dogs that you saw. And there's a big difference between these 2 dogs as well. Okay. Sit. Good girl for you. She's looking that way. Swayze. Good girl. My job is to keep her engaged with me, not those people over there. Swayze, good girl. Good girl for you. Good. Swayze, kennel, here, sit. Good girl. It's so cool to see how quick these puppies learn, because yesterday was different than today. She's already showing progress in just one day of doing these simple little exercises. It's awesome. Swayze, sit. Good girl for you. Good. Swayze, good girl. And hops up there this way. Good girl. Swayze, good girl. Anytime I'm working on leash manners, I want to make sure to pay off to the left versus a recall. I want to pay in front of me because I don't want to confuse the dog and only pay in front, and then I can't walk because they're constantly crabbing in front of me. So again, every single day, name a place if you have it or want to do so. Recalls, you can't call your dog to come to you enough because that's a life-saving command. Walking on a loose leash, 5 to 10 minutes, as many reps as you can. But if one thing is failing and your dog is not paying attention to you, don't think you can work on leash manners if they're straining over that way and walking that way. Just back away and recall them to you. Use their name, get their attention, because that's the foundation of everything. One final thing for the 3 to 4 month age range, I am doing handling on a very regular basis so that dog is accepting of it and starts to understand it when it's smaller and easier to handle. It will make my life easier as they're growing into a larger breed dog. When our puppies first come home, up until that 3 to 4 month age, I do want to talk about the importance of touching them everywhere, because at some point in life, they're going to go to the vet or the groomer, possibly when they don't feel good. And if they are not accepting handling when they are healthy, they're going to get even more defensive about handling when they are injured or sick. So we're thinking about everything that the vet or the groomer might do. We're thinking about nail trims. We're thinking about taking temperatures. We're thinking about ears being looked at, mouth being looked at, blood being drawn, those sorts of things. So handling is really important. And again, it's not playing with their feet. It's not flipping them over and doing dominant downs even, right? Two completely different things. It is just, can I restrain you so that you are not squirrely, so that a veterinarian could look in your ear? Can I stick my finger in your ear when your ear is healthy, because I can't clean your ears then if you get an ear infection, right? I have a lot of people that come to me that cannot touch or clean their dog's ears or do their nails. They have to be sedated. There is just no reason for that. This starts at an early age. I want to make sure that all the teeth are falling out the way they're supposed to. So I'm checking inside that mouth constantly. When that puppy is going through teething, yeah, it's going to feel weird and they're going to twist their head a little bit, but the more you do it, the more accepting they become. This one, we did her nails today. She wasn't so sure she liked it, but you need to be okay with me pressing and picking up your feet and setting them down. And I've just got her skin right here, right? That's all I'm holding on to her skin. She's not being pinched or pulled. I can even steady her this way if I want to. And I want to set it down. So I pick it up and I set it down, right? Same with the back feet. And generally, the front feet are worse than the back feet for handling, but every dog is different, right? So if I want to do the back feet, it would be the same thing. And again, they're a puppy, but their teeth are sharp, so I do not need her face by my face when I'm doing this stuff. I'm going to keep it away. This one over here, I just have her collar now. And if you're unsure, I always tell people, start with the back feet. You're further away from where the teeth are. But all of this stuff should be able to be done. Scooping up their rear, touching under their belly, touching their head, in their ears. All parts of the body need to be able to be handled. Don't stop. Do it every day, every other day minimum. Okay, fine. You're one of those people. Revisit it weekly. Put a reminder in your phone up until that dog is at least a year old. Have I touched my dog's ears today? Have I touched their feet today? Have I touched Or have I looked in their mouth today? Just making sure that they are constantly exposed to that so they don't forget it or become resistant to it. Super important with these young puppies. Remember to do it regularly. Here we have Maya. She is a 6-month-old pit bull lab mix from rescue. And I have Cyrus, who is about 7 months old, and he is a Schnauzer poodle. These dogs are in the real training starts, right? You're now a teenager. You're ready to have some responsibility in life. We don't use as much food anymore, and they are starting to actually learn a true heel and a true recall to a sit straight in front. They're learning sit stays, and they're actually at the same level of training. You're gonna see differences though. This dog is a wild child with her owner, and she just started doing a little bit of personal training with me to help the owner along. This dog over here is a dream. This is the dog that you get, and it makes training so easy that when you get your next dog and it's not like that, you feel like something's wrong with the dog or something's wrong with you. This dog is biddable, he is willing, he is an absolute joy to train. 6 to 7 months old already, some of the things these guys are learning is, when you're on a leash with me, you have to pay attention. The leash is gonna be loose. When I say heel, I want you to stay at my side. When I stop, I want you to sit at my side. There are consequences if you don't do these things, but we are teaching in a very methodical progression so the dog understands what they need to do. We're working on baby recalls. Everything's on leash. At this point, everything's on leash, because if I don't have consistency and reliability on leash, it's not gonna work off leash. That's super important at this age because they're still growing up. I have a teenager. I know what that is. She's just not always compliant with me. And it's the same with these dogs, right? And we like to say they know better, but it's our job as the owner and handler to set them up with success, and the leash does that for me. So with these two, we're just gonna start doing a little bit of heel and some auto sit, just to talk about things that we incorporate daily. When we're healing, what I tell people to do is multiple sessions, again, are better than a long drawn out session where your dog is getting bored. So I like 5 to 10 minutes, maybe even 15, depending on the dog. I like to try to do 25 sits a day with my dog. I like to do 15 to 20 recalls a day with these guys, and a minimum of 15 sit stays a day, all varied times and distances for the level they're at. That's what I'm going for. And if you think about that number, it might seem daunting. It's not. You can do sit stays, you can get 5 short ones in a few minutes. It just doesn't take that much time. It's a matter of us committing and how we spend our time, right? So if I go off with Miss Maya here, Maya, heel. Good girl. Good girl. I want to make sure when I stop, I'm not pulling her into a sit. I want to be kind about it, right? Now, if I have to correct her, I might apply leash pressure, but I want her to listen to the verbal and respond to me. Maya, kennel. Here, sit. Good girl for you. Good girl for you. Good. Okay, let's go off again. Maya, heel. Good girl. Good. Good girl. Maya, sit. Good girl. Stay. So there she came forward. All I'm gonna do is bump her back. She's new and just starting to understand this. I'm not gonna let her come forward on the sit stay. I'm gonna be clear. I'm gonna correct her. When she is right, I'm gonna go back to her. Good. Maya, heel. Sit. Good girl for you. Good girl for you. So we're doing multiple short little sit stays with her. I'm not walking across the ring. Everything's on leash. They're short. It's 2 to 3 feet. This dog has a longer sit stay. So if Cyrus is put on a sit stay, he's at the point where you can go almost to the end of the leash and he can hold it for almost a minute, right? We're working slowly through it. It's always important to consider your environment. If there's more distractions at this age, I'm not expecting them to be able to do it. It's in a quieter environment at this point. And then you build up to that. Maya, kennel, here, sit. Good. When I put her on place, and both of these guys actually, they're at the point now where they can be on place for several minutes. You can start to walk further away. I do not care if the dog is sitting, standing, or lying down on the place. That is up to them. Therefore, it is not a stay command. I don't want to confuse the dog. Stay is on the ground, a specific position. Place is a location. You're on this platform. Just don't get off of it. I don't care what you're doing. So we don't do a lot of place. I know there's a lot of information about place out there, and I do use it, but I'm not gonna stick my dogs on place every day for 3 or 4 hours a day. I just don't do it. But I do believe in the concept of it, and I think it's a great thing to have. I just wanna do more things with my dog than that. So again, both of these guys heel, sit, stay, recalls. So from her place too, when I do a recall, I want the dog to be so close to me that I can reattach the collar or leash. And again, remember, if you have your dogs at 6 or 7 months old and you're not effectively teaching them an on-leash recall, they're not gonna listen to you off-leash, in the backyard, loose in a park, that sort of thing. So we're taking the training at these little incremental steps with these teenage dogs to start to build some responsibility. And until my on-leash is really good, I'm not doing it off leash. I need to be able to control the outcome. Maya, come. Good girl, good girl. Good. Sit. Good girl for you. Good girl for you. The other thing with this age, again, I'm not using a ton of food. I'm now expecting them to do these things for me without the constant use of a treat because I do things for them. I feed them, pick up their poop, I groom them, I bathe them, I do their laundry. So the occasion that I do pick up my leash and I ask them to be obedient, I don't think that's an unreasonable expectation for these guys at this age, okay? The puppy that we talked about, my 3-month, I'm gonna roll back, how important it is to continue some of that puppy handling as these dogs mature, because this dog is not a fan of being handled on her feet and having nail trims. And it's a prime example of doing it the day you bring them home can change everything moving forward. If you don't continue it, it can turn into a problem. He is lovely for his feet. Why? He is a Schnauzer Poodle mix. He's been going to the groomer and been getting handled since he was a puppy. We take that for granted with our short-haired breeds and we don't think about it. And then all of a sudden we say, well, this is a huge problem. No, if the dog's not being re-exposed to that situation repeatedly, that handling, that training, they're not gonna understand it, right? So with her, we have been working a ton on, I'm gonna pick up your feet, I'm gonna press between your toes, not playing with the feet, it's different. I need her to be able to go to the groomer and be examined by the vet and not have a problem with it. Again, the feet is better, the nail clippers come out, it's another story. The Dremel comes out, it's another story. So it's constantly a work in progress. Don't forget about that the first year that you have that dog at home plus. We are also teaching our puppies at 6 to 7 months old, you need to be able to pass by your play buddies and just heel. So Maya kind of wanted to go to her place right there, but I just kept walking, right? You have to stay with me right up here. Good girl, good girl, good girl. Maya, sit. Good girl for you. Excellent place. Here we have Lobo. Lobo is about 8, 9-month-old German Shepherd, and I want to talk about the exceptions to some of the rules. Lobo is from a working line shepherd breeder, and he was acquired by a young person as their first dog. There have been multiple challenges, understandably so. This is a super intelligent dog. He is pretty drivey. We have some problems with self-control and impulse control and lots of things. So I've been working really closely with the owner with this dog. I, as a trainer, love this dog. I think working him is a blast, exhausting, but a blast. But he's smart. And so it's really important to remember when you're selecting a breed for yourself, they're so cute as those young puppies at 8, 9, 10 weeks old, even up to 3 months old. It's gonna be pretty easy. And then around that 16-week mark, you really start to see some personalities and behaviors come out, and you need to know what you're getting yourself into. So I wanted to bring out Lobo because he is about where Cyrus and Maya are in training now, but he's been in training a lot longer. And so it takes as long as it takes, depending on the relationship and the working ability that you have with the dog, right? This dog is, again, I absolutely love this dog. German Shepherds have not owned one. It's really not my personal breed. I would take this dog home in a heartbeat. I love this dog. But he is busy, and he's a lot of dog. He's a lot of dog. So I just wanted to talk about that and know what you're getting yourself into. And if you're going to get something like this, you're in for a long haul with the training, an absolute long haul. With these giant breeds, it is imperative that we continue to train them. It's imperative that we start the day we bring these guys home at that 8-week, 3-month, 4-month age, and then continue it as they grow up. They're not gonna grow out of bad puppy behaviors. They're gonna turn into bigger problems, literally bigger problems. So Asher does have some things that he's working through with his owner at home. And I know a lot of people are like, oh, they're gentle giants. No, if they know they can push you around and you allow it, they absolutely will. His owner is very good with understanding that he is aloof and he is not going to like everybody that he meets. He is an advocate for this dog, which is great. And interestingly enough, he started with me when he was a young puppy, back to handling again. Not good for nails, not good for ears, not good for any activity involving veterinary care or grooming. Thankfully, his owner was diligent, and now he is a dream for me to handle and his owner to handle. It's gonna be different at the vet. It's gonna be different with someone that he doesn't know. It's going to be somewhat of a challenge, but nothing like it could have been or would certainly be had he not put the training time into this dog. Daily training with these two, and this has been for a few months now, is the ability to heel, auto sit, sit, stay, stand, stay, down, stay, recall, some off leash, most of which is still on leash, by a variety of distractions. So if we just heel these two, who are buddies, by each other, they need to be obedient to us and not to each other. So let's heel off. Asher, heel. And again, something to note while this is happening, you are gonna see Corbin aware of activity in the back door. That's the breed. He is who he is. And training is ensuring that he's not completely losing his mind. We're gonna come to a halt and a sit next to each other here. Stay. Sometimes we practice this with these dogs for a minute. Sometimes we even expect longer. But for today's sake, it's just gonna be a quick. When we come back, we circle behind. And the last command was stay, so we do expect the dog to stay. Heel. Good boy for you. Heel. Again, we're not using very much food. Now it's praise and pets. We'll do a stand. I switched his collar there. He's on a prong with his owner for walking, and I don't want to have a prong on when I stand him. Asher, stand. boy for you. So again, there's distractions out there coming in the back door. Stay. He needs to be able to stay. We practice this for up to a minute, not every time a minute. It varies. We need to be able to return behind the dog. We practice stands because they're good life skills for veterinary, grooming, getting on the scale, wiping feet. Asher, heel. Good boy for you. And then these guys are both downing on command, and again, have been for quite some time. So we'll down them on command over here. Asher, heel. Asher down. Stay. This is perfect timing because I have a class starting. And there's all these people and dogs coming in the back, and they still need to behave and do their things. Their down stays 3 to 5 minutes at this age should be completely doable. But again, for the sake of today, we're returning. When I return, you're still expected to hold position until we walk off again. Asher, heel. We've been working extensively with off-leash recalls with both of these dogs in a secure area, but we do a lot of 6-foot recalls. Just promptly come to me, sit straight in front of me. Very much the same as what you saw with Maya and Cyrus. But again, more off-leash across the room. Door manners every day, feet wiping, coming inside because it's gross out. But obedience is important because in order to be a good companion dog, you have to be able to do things like that when I take you places. So a year old, we're still not done, we're still going, and that's the whole point of getting a dog. Training, it's spending time with the dog. Turn it into the dog that you want to take everywhere with you. Don't delay. Get out now, preferably the day you bring your puppy home. I'm Tiffany. Thanks for viewing the Sit Show today. Remember, train your dog and turn your shit show into a sit show. I have to go teach class now.